So what I will say about my childhood is that I definitely grew up knowing that I was unlovable. That is the feeling that I had during my whole childhood. I deserved the things that happened to me, all of these negative self-talk that I told myself. But I ended up carrying those feelings of unworthiness and knowing that I was unlovable into adulthood, which caused a lot of my dysfunction as I grew older. So I looked for that love and affection anywhere and everywhere. I just remember that my mom was very codependent, to the point of allowing things to happen to me and my sister that shouldn't have, and kind of sweeping it under the rug because getting herself away from that situation was too difficult of a task for her. For me, it was a sense of belonging to the people that I hung out with, that I had some sketchy careers in my 20s that that was just the atmosphere. It's a much more difficult thing to fight if it's running a family generationally. But the good news about that is that, any person has the opportunity to change that. And then for my own children, it's very difficult to raise children, first of all, when you're an addict, but also when nobody's modeled that behavior for you, And I've had the opportunity to be very transparent about my recovery journey with my children. They know what I went through. They know they were a part of it. They know I'm in recovery now and that I help other people. And I think that's important for them to know, If I want to instill in them a love for education, then I've got to show them, right? She knows that what we went through together, and she's so far been very transparent about sharing that story, and I think that's so important. And for me to remember, she's got a testimony too, I felt a calling that I needed to be helping other people in similar situations. And so when I got the job at Hope Community Services, when I realized that my pain was actually not punishment, is preparation for what I was called to do. So I started as a peer at Hope Community Services, and so now I get the opportunity to help other people along their recovery journey and get to go with the fire department on overdose calls, which feels like a dream come true. I went back to college. I never ever imagined going to college because that is hard. And I didn't ever like school, and other people do that, but I was never in a position in my life where hopes and dreams seemed, like something that could ever come to fruition. My dreams and hopes went from a place to sleep for the night and, food to, I can actually set goals for myself and reach them, and being able to help people along their recovery journey, that we can achieve dreams, and those things that we thought we couldn't do, we can do. We have to have somebody help us to the way. When you're first getting sober, for me, and I think for a lot of people also, we don't know how to do life. We don't. The way we did life obviously did not work very good. So it's important to have people that can walk us through that journey to help us. I had no idea the first time I had to put a check in the bank. How do you do that? Those kind of things are difficult. And so for me, it came through my church family. So we have the ability to be advocates in things where there isn't any, and use our stories to help other people. I love that. So many people in my own story, and I'm like, dude, they're so awesome, and relishing at how much they helped me in my recovery. But the cool part about recovery, and when you are in a helping profession of any sort, you get the opportunity to be somebody's hero in their story. I know that somebody's telling a story about me and about their recovery, and my name's in it. That fills that void that I've always trained to fill up, acts of service, walking people through their recovery. We always have what somebody else wants, right? And so it's important that we show them now. There's no amount of good that you can do that's going to make me love you or unlove you, just as you are, and to have those conversations, with your children. It's so healing. It's healing for my inner little girl. But it's important. It's important that we're talking to our inner little girl. We're healing her herself. When I do reach goals, it's a little piece of that little girl inside me is healing and is important. It's important that even though I wasn't seen now, that my inner little girl knows that I see her. When you're going through those difficult times, if it's whether it's separation or addiction or, toxic relationships or whatever that looks like, that it's really, really difficult to see the positive in it. And that takes time. But it is true that there is someone that needs our exact story, that our story is going to resonate with them in a way we cannot even comprehend, that they're going to hear their own story in our story. And essentially that can become their roadmap. People need to know that other people have gone through what they're going through or similar things and made it through. But not only that, but had a wonderful, great, full life, because it's not about just surviving. It's we deserve to thrive. You're the author of this story. Whatever looked like last chapter, when you turn the page, you hold the pen. What do you want your story to read? When somebody else reads it, what do you want to say? What message do you want to give the world? What ripple effect do you want to leave? And start writing that story.